Hello and welcome to Blackurbantv. In cases of crisis, paramedics are often the first on the scene, being at the front line of providing quality healthcare. And today we are joined by Kevin Odhiambo, who is one of a paramedic in this country. Karibu sana, Kevin.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Yes, I'll have you introduce yourself.
My name is Kevin Odhiambo Abonyo, like you said. I'm a paramedic with over 10 years of experience. I'm a father,
Mhm.
I'm a husband, and I'm a patriot.
You had to say you're a patriot. He's a Kenyan. He's a Kenyan, so he's a patriotic Kenyan citizen. Yes, you've mentioned 10 years of experience as a paramedic. So, who is a paramedic?
Basically, a paramedic is any healthcare provider that works outside the hospital generally.
Mhm.
I think that is the easiest.
Okay. You
Uh,
said is someone that works outside the hospital.
the hospital,
Is
yes.
whatever you do kind of similar to what people at the hospital do?
Do correct,
Mhm.
but we have our own training
Mhm.
that is different. We have procedures that are different. Some are intertwined, some are different.
So you have 10 years of experience as a paramedic, and are you enjoying being a paramedic, or is there something else you would have wanted to be if you had to switch roles?
It's a funny question because growing up, I grew up in a family where the head of the table is a politician. He was a counselor in the defunct constitution. So he wanted me to be the better version of him. So he wanted me to do law. Personally, I wanted to do a business related course, but I ended up where I am.
Mhm.
I don't regret it
Yes.
because it's been amazing. We get to help people, and that feeling is just rewarding at the end of the day.
Mhm. Would you say that being in the paramedics field needs someone that has a kind heart because you're helping people, you're putting other people uh, first and trying to make them live because like these situations can be very critical and you're trying to save their life.
Really, everyone is born good. So I really don't want to start a debate
Mhm.
of who's good. So everyone has their own measurement of how good the other person is
Mhm.
and how bad the other person is. But generally, in EMS, what we consider mostly is you have to be very compassionate because the people that we attend to are at the lowest point of need, and you have to really be empathetic and to just give them your best. So I don't know which category that falls into, but I believe
Yeah, it takes
it's
someone that is compassionate, someone
compassionate.
that is willing to help.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of emergency situations do you find yourself as a paramedic? What kind of situations, especially that you encounter in Homa Bay County?
Homa Bay majorly we have traumatic emergencies and medical emergencies. Traumatic in the sense that we have like when I got here, there was this craze of motorcycles being introduced in the market, and you remember the at that time the hospitals that were dedicating a ward for the border people. So we grew through that, and now we are doing both the traumatic cases and the medical
Yes, yes.
cases as a whole.
Okay. In your training, do you get trained also? Because Homa Bay County has Lake Victoria. So are you also trained in situations such as someone drowning or like a boat accident, for example?
Mm, we have a topic on its own. It's dubbed Eco Rescue. It's a unit on its own, and it really gives us that edge. It doesn't matter where you are because you cannot be in. Some of us might not be in the Victoria region, but you attend to clients that have probably near drowned in pools, people who've near drowned in the bathtubs at home. So it's actually a skill
Mhm.
that has to be undertaken by everyone,
Okay.
regardless of which part of the country you're coming
Okay.
from.
Do you feel like engaging the community is a crucial aspect in handling such emergency situations?
Sure, sure. Because the more you disseminate information, the more people get to understand what they need to do
Mhm.
as they wait for an ambulance. Uh, for instance, a lot of cases we get in the field are people who've been mishandled, and these people, yes, they get better with time, but they have uh, other issues that could have been dealt with better if the people who are helping knew how to handle them.
Mhm.
So I think it's an ongoing process. This field is new in Kenya, and I think every day is a different day, and we tend to give that knowledge
Mhm.
to the people so that it trickles down
Mhm.
to even the families, because that's where uh, life starts.
Mhm. Okay, so I know right now there is CBC where children are being taught a lot of skills and ways to handle things. Do you think like having young children or even like grown people know how to handle random accidents that could happen in the house? Maybe like there's a fire in the house, maybe someone is drowning, like so that they can offer that basic, I don't know what they call first aid
Mm.
to the person. Do you think that that is a really crucial thing for?
To me, I've always advocated for first aid being mandatory in all our primary schools and secondary schools, because that's where a lot of information uh, gets to a larger percentage of people. Because if we can have a system where first aid is made mandatory in the republic, we won't. There are some cases that won't escalate to the point of death. For instance, people can be able to do the basic things as they wait for a more advanced help to come through.
To come. So, for example, there is an accident that has happened in the house. Someone is in the house, maybe they're sick, and you get a call as a paramedic. Like, do you engage the person or you just rush to the scene?
Normally, our safety is taken very seriously. So we as emergency care providers have a system. It's a whole system that has to work. It's a system that has to be cascaded, and it really has to, you know, go through the channels prescribed. I cannot just be called directly if there's an emergency, even in my house. So if someone needs an ambulance in my house, I'll can use my skills as a person, as a father. But then if I want an ambulance, I'll have to call, so that this call is noted. This call is there's a system that is widely used in in EMS and in business now. It's called the CRM. So this helps us to improve, because through customer engagements, we tend to know what went on right and which areas we need to improve on. So it's a system that really has to be followed. So I'll advocate for people calling various numbers that are within that domain for purposes of ambulance evacuation and ambulance support.
Okay, interesting. So maybe someone would want to know how your day looks like as a paramedic, like from when you wake up to like when you go to bed. Like, can you tell us like how your day looks like?
Unfortunately, Cheryl, I don't have a life. So, being a paramedic, I really can't have a schedule. Sometimes it's even hard to take some my loved one on a date, especially when I'm on duty, because emergencies happen at any given point. And like I said, where duty calls, we answer. So sometimes planning my day is a bit challenging.
Mhm.
So I have to be prepared always. In
Mhm.
fact, where I work, I don't want to mention it, but I normally have a spare bag that has a toothbrush, has an extra pair of uniform. So I'm always on the
Because you
go,
might end up spending the night outside.
anywhere.
Even like when you're having this interview, you could get a call.
I can.
You could get a call.
It's
So,
not out of the ordinary.
yeah. So, you have an experience of more than 10 years, and what would you say are the big things that you've learned being a paramedic, either in your advancement in line with your duty, or like generally just in your life?
Um, the major thing that I've learned is we sometimes in times of crisis, we just need someone to be there for us, somebody who listens, somebody who can just walk you through the basics. uh, it's not a must that you have to give them uh, the whole world at that moment,
Yeah.
because if somebody is gasping, the only thing they need then and then is oxygen. So it's about reassuring them and letting them know they'll be okay, and doing the best that you can to make sure they come out of the situation that they're in at the moment. Yes.
Okay. Like any other profession, any other job, there are always challenges that come with the job. What are the kind of challenges that you face as a paramedic?
Paramedics, like I said earlier, paramedics is a gray area. It's not been really worked on accordingly. We don't have regulations as at yet, and that's the major challenge, because people do not understand what we do. uh, Sometimes I walk out there, somebody calls himself a sailor, you just have to accept. Mtu atakuita doc, you know. So it's a bit challenging, but we hope the gospel will reach the right persons for actions to be
To
done.
be taken. Also, I would like to ask you how is because whatever you do, you handle a lot of different emergency, critical situations. On a mental aspect, like how is it with your job?
Um, in terms of mental health, Kenya right now is launched a campaign against mental health issues, and I think it's working to a great extent, and we are getting the support that we need as professionals, and largely I thank the families that we do this for. When we go home, you find peace at home. It's therapeutic enough to make you forget the different things that you encounter throughout the day.
So, let's say, for example, give us a scenario. For example, you go to an accident location, and then you're done with your duty as a paramedic. Like, what happens afterwards? Do you go on with your life? Do you sit down and ujishike kidogo, being like, what happened? Like, how is it like after handling a critical emergency situation?
Like any other profession, we have good days and bad days. And a good day in office is really doing the very best you can for that person in need, and seeing them pull through whatever it is uh, that was making them or their lives uh, miserable. You are able to reverse that, and they're feeling better, and they're grateful. By the way, the best experience that I've had is people telling me, thank you. If it were not for you, we wouldn't have made it to the hospital. And it's a currency that You know, it's cheap, but it cuts deep at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day.
Would you say, like, being a paramedic, you have a challenge in being with your family because you said you have a family? Maybe because your work is so unpredictable. How is it? Is it a challenge or already watu wamezoea vitu zinakwanga hivyo?
Inabidi watu wazoe, because you know, when you do this, we do it for for the betterment of our communities. um, I'm, 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 I'm a Kenyan, and every time I walk, I want the best for my country. And if that means doing the very best I can for the people I come about, uh, that's helpful enough. But I also want to thank uh, the families that really support us, because it's not an easy experience per se, because we sometimes have to spend in unlikely places. And if somebody doesn't understand what you do, then you know it
It gets a
becomes a
bit
problem.
difficult. It becomes some
Ah,
sort of war. Okay, just to finalize, what would you tell someone who would like to be a paramedic?
um, paramedics is fun, especially if you don't want to, you know, there are people who don't like being the other side of the table all the time. By that I mean, you know, if you don't want to be a professional, you know, the typical 9 to 5, you want to sit behind the desk every time of the day. With us, we explore. 1 minute you're in Kisumu, the next minute you're in Eldoret, the next minute you're in Homa Bay. So, funnily, it's like they say, you can have lunch in Homa Bay, supper in Eldoret, and breakfast any other place in the Republic
Hmm.
or abroad. So, by abroad I mean, you know, we tend to
Move a lot.
move a lot. We can take patients out of the country as well.
Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting part of your job. So you can find yourself having dinner in the United States tonight
Maybe, I don't know, if duty calls, then
because you have to show up.
I might be able to say hi to Trump. Who knows?
As you might be able to say hi to Trump. Yes, you've had it from Black Urban TV. Thank you so much, Kevin, for making it on Black Urban TV and sharing your experiences with us as a paramedic.
Thank you, Sherry.
Yes. Until next time, keep it locked on Black Urban TV and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and always keep it here. Bye.